Hi, I'm your host, Burb.
And I'm Alex.
And this is the not-so-late Enchanterium show.
We have a special guest here with us today, our doll customizing friend, Lisa from Dolllynx.
Moin, and thank you for inviting me.
We all love the Divus Universe created by Natalie from DollMotion. And when she announced the Mega Divus Collaboration, Lisa reached out to us to do a collab within the collab. Can you tell our audience what's the idea?
Of course. The idea is to create a couple that goes to the same school as some of the original Divus characters from Natalie, like Olivia Aves. So we have a rough age for our characters, but nothing else. The gender or animal type, as well as the personality, will be completely up to the creator, and we will not tell each other anything until the dolls are done. Like this, we all will be surprised at the end what couple it's going to be.
This is such a cool idea, so we agreed.
We decided to make a 15-year-old giant big gecko girl named Becky. Check out Dolllynx channel to see what character Lisa has created as a romantic interest for our lizard girl.
Stay to the end of the video for more information about Becky and her love, but for now, let's get started with doll customizing. We're going to use a Gorgon doll from the Create a Monster kit. She has strong snake-like features, but I think it will suit a gecko girl as well. She doesn't have ears, which in this case is great. Usually we have to separate the head from the body, get rid of the hair, makeup and scalp paint, but this doll only requires removing the factory makeup with pure acetone. In the Divus Universe, reptiles don't grow any hair, so we need to fix this hole in the head with epoxy sculpt. After it's dry, I sanded it a bit for a seamless transition. I'm painting the head with few layers of green acrylic paint and then adding a few layers of matte acrylic varnish to get rid of brush strokes. This will also soften the snake features. I added more colors to the face and the body using yellow, green and blue soft pastels.
I'll start by making her school uniform. I'm cutting out a rectangle out of this nice blue cotton for the skirt. I hem the bottom first, and then iron on 2 strips of gold heat transfer vinyl. I mark up my seam allowance and then mark my pleats every centimeter. I make folds at the marks and pin the pleats in place. To make working with this easier, I'll secure the pleats with a straight stitch close to the edge. I'm adding a strip of the same fabric to act as a waistband. I fold it in half and pin the raw edges together. To join the pieces, I'm just sewing with another straight stitch. The skirt can now be closed in the back, but not all the way up, so it can fit over the doll's hips. I added a small snap at the waistband in the back, and we can try the skirt on. To make her shirt, I used a pattern from Requiem Art Design. I'm cutting it out of white cotton with a rotary blade. I used a lot of glue to hem the pieces as the seam allowances were very small. I added the collar to the shirt with glue as well, later reinforcing the bond with stitches. At the beginning, I always like to put my garments together the proper way, like you would sew human-sized stuff. These days, I don't really care that much about it. If glue works, then why not use it? I hope this example can encourage some of you that can't sew or don't have a sewing machine that you can make doll clothes too. I'm not going to go into much detail about this pattern as I didn't shoot the process too well, but if you buy the pattern yourself, there are plenty of instructions included with the pattern. Let's see how the shirt looks with the skirt. Ah, super cute!
If you watch our videos or any other doll customizers, you know how the repaint goes. Many layers of Mr. Super Clear, watercolor pencils, soft pastels and then acrylic paint on top. I want to tell you why we chose a gecko and why we decided to name her this way. So, my friend has a pet crested gecko named Bacon. I know in English it's not that obvious, but in Polish, gekon and bekon are very similar words, so that's the joke. But I didn't want to portray this specific gecko, so we chose to change the species and be loosely inspired by the name. We chose a Madagascar gecko, also known as giant day gecko, because of their colorful skin, big rounded pupils and this video. They are extremely adorable, and I think it's easier to transform this species into humanoid doll than the crested geckos. So yeah, we have a gecko named Becky. My initial sketch has red eyes, and I don't know why I wanted to change them to blue, but I figured out that red works so much better on this doll. I also changed the waterline from lime green to pink. I know I said that in the Divus Universe, reptiles don't grow any hair, and then drew long lashes, but she might be wearing falsies, right? I'm painting a few details in the eyes and eyelashes, and adding 3 layers of gold and green perlix powders to add that healthy shine to the skin. Just like DollMotion's amphibian dolls, our Becky is going to have a wig. I'm sorry for the continuity error, but I made a wig cap before drawing the face. I'm using a plastic foil, a cloth, and a few layers of all-purpose glue. When the last layer is dry, I'm marking and cutting the cap. Then I'm gluing yarn wefts in teal and black that I prepared off camera. I chose teal hair on the back, because a few days before doing the wig, I was dyeing Barb's hair in exactly the same way, and I got inspired. On the top of the head I'm gluing black wefts and doing a part and bangs. I decided to tie some of the hair in the back with the wire to create a little ponytail. I think I should have planned this hairstyle before gluing the wefts, but I managed to bring my vision to life anyway. I'm trimming the front with these thinning scissors and then styling the bangs with a heated metal stick. And this is how she looks. I can't decide if I like her more with the wig or bald.
I really wanted for Becky to have a casual outfit too, and I started by making this monstrosity, so we quickly changed concepts. I have a Cricut machine now, and to test it out, I decided to make the clothes a little bit more exciting. I cut out a layered flame pattern to add to the trousers. I quickly weeded out the parts of the vinyl that I didn't want to transfer and pressed them on the cutout pieces, one on top of the other. Then I'm constructing the trousers in my regular fashion. If you've seen any of our videos and the doll has trousers, it's been the same trousers for over 2 years now. I hemmed the bottoms, I sewed the front seam, then hemmed the waist. This time I decided to add a decorative fake zipper stitch, so I drew a sketch of that with a heat erasable marker. It's barely visible, but I assure you it's there. Then I sewed the back, but not all the way up, and then sewed the legs together. I clipped the seam allowance near the crotch to make the trousers lay a bit more flat. Turn them inside out, and the first part of our edgy outfit is done. Don't forget to add a closure in the back. Next, a printed tee. I start by making a bias tape finish on the neckline. I pin the tape thoroughly in line with the neck edge and sew it together in the first stitch. Then, I fold the tape over to the other side and top stitch it down. I hem the sleeves really quick and pin and sew them in place. Next, I can close the side seams and hem the bottom. The print on the shirt says jelly because when researching animals for this collab we found this funny video of geckos eating jelly. I cut this on the Cricut too. I tried my best to make the print even, but it ended up a little bit to the right. Let's say she could only afford this amazing Enchanterium brand designer t-shirt because it was a production reject. I added Velcro in the back of the shirt and will now add some nail decorations to imitate buttons. I added a big one for the trousers and small ones for the uniform shirt. To accessorize, I'm going to make a quick backpack out of faux leather and hot glue. I just quickly made up the dimensions, tested it out on paper, and glued it together. The bag is not functional, and the straps came out weird. I think I glued them on wrong, but hey, it works. Last item on my agenda is a tail. I cut this long leaf-like shape and inserted magnets into one of the sides. Then I simply sewn around the outline, leaving a gap to stuff the tail. I made sure the magnet is pushed in as far as it could go, put some wire in to make it posable, and stuffed the tail with some fibers left over from brushing out yarn for hair wefts. Lastly, I stitched the gap closed by hand.
The tail can't stay in this color, so I'm painting it green. The Create a Monster dolls already have holes in the back, but it's too small to place in our magnet. I'm widening it with a lino cut tool and gluing the magnet in place. Time to decorate our girl's body. I found some pictures of Madagascar geckos with a lot of red spots, but also with only a few of them. To make her more interesting, I chose to paint a lot of dots and stripes on the back and some on the hips and arms. I'm drawing the spots with a watercolor pencil first and then painting them with acrylic paint. Mr. Super Clear makes the body look very matte, so to bring the shine back, I'm adding 2 layers of Perlex powder. I'm so happy with how the red and orange spots turned out. I don't know where these sneakers came from, but we're going to use them for the casual outfit. I'm adding shoelaces made from embroidery thread in yellow and red. I just couldn't choose between them. To add something to the backpack that can reflect her personality, I'm painting this tiny badge to look like a basketball. I thought that she could be in a school basketball team, as geckos are very good jumpers. I also added a flame badge, which could be a prize for winning a spicy food eating competition, and a ladybug badge, as she might have a celebrity crush who is a ladybug. I glued some more decorations, as this is a teenager backpack. I used to have a lot of decorations on my back in school, so I thought it would fit. As last detail, I'm adding the Alces school emblem, which is a moose in the crown, and painting the buttons with golden paint.
This is how Becky turned out. She's ready to take on Alces High School in her uniform and go to some romantic dates with her boyfriend in her casual outfit. They met during a break by playing basketball and became rivals at first. They don't want to admit that they like each other in front of their friends, so they keep their romance a secret and hang out after school. I'm sure Dolllynx will tell you more details in her video.
I love Becky so much! And if you guys want to see how I made her boyfriend Shin, check out his video on my channel Dolllynx. Aren't they a lovely couple?
Thank you, Lisa, for inviting us to this collab. Shin turned out amazing. Do you like animal-inspired characters? We usually don't make designs like this, but we couldn't resist taking part in a Divus Collab created by DollMotion.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram for some sneak peeks and subscribe for future videos. Have an enchanted day, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Hi, I'm your horse.